Hello and welcome to the Ghost Town Chronicles. Whether the result of nuclear disaster, war or erosion, or maybe even an industry's or empire's downfall, several cities around the globe, from the Far East to North America, have become abandoned, some practically overnight. In a few cases, failed ventures to create a glossy real estate development have resulted in a blank canvas with little to no population. But to know these former towns is to understand our global history. Some of them feature the shells of abandoned buildings, raw, unmanicured landscapes, and the absence of people. All, however, are a photographer's dream. If any of these towns look or sound familiar, here's why. Many were used as filming locations well after their demise. Below, AD surveys 30 of the most stunning abandoned towns around the world. If nothing else, these locales will make you appreciate the buzz of activity in the city you live in, however big or small it may be. Hashima Island, Japan. This 16-acre southern Japanese island, a former undersea coal mining region 9 miles off the coast of Nagasaki, experienced its prosperity from 1887 to 1974. And then, with the rise of petroleum usage, it evaporated. The buildings remain, but the population has since moved on. With UNESCO World Heritage Historical Site status granted in 2015, however, could this island see its second chapter soon? Ordaour-sur-Glane, France. This Nazi-occupied village met its terrible fate on June 10, 1944, when a German-led massacre killed 642 of its residents. Despite a village being rebuilt nearby after the war, a decision was made by then-President Charles de Gaulle to preserve Ordaour-sur-Glane in its entirety, as a memorial. Craco, Italy. This village in the Matera province, that's in the Boots, Arch, has appeared in quite a few Italian and American films, including King David, starring Richard Gere, in 1985, and Passion of the Christ, starring Mel Gibson, in 2004. But a massive immigration to North America during the 1920s, followed by a landslide, a flood, and an earthquake later that century, meant that by 1980 there were 0 residents left. Humberstone, Chile. Deemed a UNESCO World Heritage Site, life in this Atacama Desert community that once had 3,500 residents came to a screeching halt when, in the middle of last century, mining for potassium nitrate, also called saltpeter, used to make gunpowder, ceased. Between the late 1880s and 1930, much of the world's supply came from here and was considered a huge export. Mandu, India. Dating back to India's Mughal Empire, once the second largest empire in that part of the world, Mandu has not thrived within the last 400 years. It was founded in 1526. Although these structures remain unoccupied, one thing's for sure, their construction was very, very sturdy to have survived this long. Here you'll find India's oldest marble building, for instance. Tianducheng, China. Built in 2007, this was supposed to be a luxury real estate development near Hangzhou, in the Zhejiang province, complete with an Eiffel Tower replica, and home to 10,000 people. Only problem is that, so far, only 2,000 people have moved here, mostly attracted to the job market. Pripyat, Ukraine. When Chernobyl nuclear power plant's nuclear disaster occurred in 1986, it was the death of this northern Ukraine community 65 miles from Kiev and near the Belarus border. Not everyone died, although around 150 did, but all 50,000 residents had to evacuate. Many suffered from acute radiation sickness as a result of exposure to high levels of radiation during the accident. North Brother Island, New York. This 20-acre island in the Bronx, nestled between Rikers Island and the Bronx, is home to no one, just herons. Up until 1964, the island housed Riverside Hospital and its patients, particularly those who were highly contagious. And although the New York City Parks Department oversees the property, it's not inhabited, yet. There have been proposals by architects and politicians for using the space, but nothing's flown yet. Plymouth, Montserrat. This Caribbean town, once the capital city of Montserrat, is difficult to find because it's partially submerged as the result of a volcanic eruption during the summer of 1995. By that December, many of the 4,000 residents had evacuated. Some returned but were forced to leave again in 1997 due to another eruption. Plymouth's population is currently at 0. Kaykoy, Turkey. Built on a hillside, Kaykoy's ruins were built in the Greek style to accommodate the Greeks who once lived there. When the 2 million Greeks living in Turkey were forced to leave that country in 1922, during the Greco-Turkish War, the town whittled away to practically nothing. Now, all that remains are these stone structures. You may recognize the town from the 2014 Russell Crowe film, The Water Diviner. I hope you enjoyed our journey through this abandoned ghost town and the stories it holds. These forgotten places hold so much history and mystery, and it's always fascinating to discover them. Thank you for joining us on this adventure, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more episodes like this one. Until next time.